Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and this video is going to be a champion guide for Zavia, so let's get into it. Alrighty, Zavia is going to be in the index, and she is a dark elf. Up here, legendary attack, force affinity. So first off, the base speed is 105. That is great. Anything over 100 is excellent base speed for a champion. The A1 is attack one enemy 3 times. You know I love that. 3 or 4 hit A1s are incredible. They have a lot of utility. Each hit with a 40% chance of placing a 5% poison for 2 turns. An amazing A1. The A2 is attack all enemies 2 times. Each hit has a 50% chance of placing a 5% poison for 2 turns. So an AoE on a 3-turn cooldown with a very good chance of placing poison, hitting all enemies twice. So amazing and great utility there. This ability is really cool. Deadly Catalyst. Attack all enemies. Enemies killed by this skill cannot be revived. So deals damage from all poison debuffs on the target instantly. Poison debuffs will only deal half of the standard damage when the skill hits a boss. So basically, this is like a detonator. It's going to take all of the poison debuffs on your enemies, and it's going to detonate all of that damage over time damage instantly. But then it's less effective versus bosses, so you can't just blow up bosses instantly, but it still does a lot of damage. So a very cool ability if you can get it to kind of synergize with a poison team, and it's very good for speed farming. Then we've got this tandem ability with Bellinor. Attack one enemy and apply a debuff spread effect, taking 4 random debuffs from the target and placing them on all enemies. This can be cool. Admittedly, I haven't really tested it out. It'd be kind of tough to get consistent value out of, and I don't have Bellinor anyway. I would probably test it if I did have Bellinor, but it's interesting nonetheless. Then we've got an aura that is attack, or increase ally attack in all battles by 33%. So again, a very good speed farming aura. It's all battles, and it's going to be just general utility there. So an amazing kit. Lots of poison and some detonation to help with speed farming and getting rid of those poisons. Now, one thing worth noting is this Deadly Catalyst will mess you up against the clan boss on auto. You don't want to use this against the clan boss. So if you're going to use Zavia against the clan boss, she is very good, but you have to manual her, because if she uses this catalyst, you're going to be wasting a lot of damage. There is a cap to the poison debuff nuking in the clan boss. There isn't in dungeons. You can have 100 poisons on the dragon and blow them up. You can't do that against the clan boss because it caps, and the cap is pretty low. So her Deadly Cast ability is amazing basically everywhere except for the clan boss. You have to manual her and just use her A1 and her A2. So let's go ahead and pull up. I have one of these infographics for all of my champion guides. It just kind of shows the masteries that I currently have on the champion, and then the optimal sets to throw on them, the stat priority, and all of that. So I like to go over the grades first when I pull this up. Campaign, she is an A. I will show you her as a campaign farmer. She's not godly at it, but she's very good, and she can be an endgame campaign farmer. Clan boss, she would be an A+. If we had more customization to like fix her A3 and like just have her not use it, I had to give her an A- just because you can't really auto with her, or you're going to be really handicapping your damage. So the fact that you kind of have to manual her, but she is excellent, I just kind of averaged it out like an A-. Arena, A+. She's incredible. She hits very hard, and she can be used as a nuker in the arena for sure. Dungeons, A+. Again, she has that A1 that attacks 3 times, so she's usable in the Fire Knight. She's pretty good there. And then she's one of the best speed farmers in the game, because if you set her up right, you can, place a bunch of poisons, boom, nuke it all, and you can just dominate in dungeons with her. Faction Wars, I gave her an A instead of an A+, just because the Dark Elves don't really have a lot of poison debuffers, so it could be a little bit tough to get her to work as well with all the detonating, but she still does a lot of damage, so she's definitely an A. I just didn't bump her up to that A+, but you could definitely make the argument that she is A+ for Faction Wars as well. So one of the most generally useful and great champions in the game. I currently have her like in the top 3 or 4 on my legendary tier list, so she is one of the best legendaries in the game in my opinion. Alrighty. Now let's go ahead and actually pull up my Zavia. And we'll go over her here. So here she is. And you can kind of see how I have mine geared. I've got the 4 pieces of speed and then the 2 pieces of damage, basically. This is because I use her as an arena nuker, so I need her to have good speed. If you go slow in the arena, you do nothing and you just end up as a corpse on the battlefield. So all of the strength in the world does you no good if the other team goes before you and kills you. So usually, not always, but generally, especially for the nuking type strategy that I play, I need her to have good speed. So I got her up to 190. Ideally, I would get her up to like 200 at some point here. I haven't perfectly min-maxed her gear yet, but yeah, I'm going with the 4-piece speed, 2-piece attack. There's a few other combinations that could be viable for her. She can fit into a lot of different gear like accuracy, speed, offense, crit damage, cruel, attack. There's a lot of things that can kind of work with Zavia and do pretty well. Now, oh, whoops, I clicked out. I meant to click on masteries. All right. If we go in the masteries, pretty standard offense and support trees. 90% of the time, that's what you're doing. You're going offense and support. The biggest discussion on Zavia is probably what to take with your tier 6 mastery. You'll notice that I went with flawless execution, which is 20% crit damage. If you're going to use her against the clan boss, you're going to want to go for Giant Slayer. It's the one that scales off of A1s that hit 3 or 4 times. She has an A1 that hits 3 times, so you'll want to go with Giant Slayer if you're going to be using her against the clan boss. I don't, so I just want her to hit as hard as possible in the arena and in dungeons and stuff, so I went with the crit damage. Alrighty, now I will show you her in the campaign. Remember, she is a Force Affinity Champion, so instead of doing Stage 3 there, we're going to pop on down to Stage 6 and face a few more Magic Affinity Champions. And I expect this to be like 15 or 16 seconds, and the fact that I don't have food here probably saves a couple seconds, so probably like 18 to 20 seconds, somewhere in there. But we can see that she's doing very well as an endgame farmer and is definitely useful in that regard. All right, so there we go. Not great, but definitely usable, and she is capable of being a campaign farmer. All right, next, let's go into the arena. Alrighty, let's see here. We're going to do this. I should use a different style of team here. Where's speed? 216. By the way, if you're ever wondering, see, like I have 2 Bad Alcazars. I should touch on this real quick. You can actually see which one is the right one to put in by looking at their stats. Like I know the one that I want to use is the one with higher speed. So this one on the left, I'm going to hold down my left click or like my select button and then click on total stats. And I can see that this is the one I want to use. This is the one with the higher speed. So I made the right choice. Okay. So I'll walk you through this type of setup to really accentuate Zavia in the arena. Alrighty. So first we'll have Arbiter, boost our turn meters, and boost our attack. Now, remember, Zavia detonates poisons. What does Bad L do? Places a bunch of poisons. Look at that. Dracomorph, what does he do? He debuffs the enemy team. Look at that. So now we have poisons and debuffs, and my Zavia is going to absolutely demolish this team. But the unfortunate thing is a lot of them are spirit. So if she hits weak, she will not detonate the poisons and she will not crit. So she's going to demolish the Aethel. The Aethel has no chance. She's going to hit this Aethel for like 80 to 100,000 probably. But then there's some RNG involved in the Spirit Champions. So that went pretty well. But you do have to be careful with Zavia if you're nuking in the arena versus Spirit Heroes. So that one wasn't as clean as it would have been if they were Force or Magic, but still definitely went pretty well. We'll see if we can find one. Okay, this one doesn't have any Spirit Heroes. So we'll see what we can nuke this one for here. So again, we got the boost, we got the poisons, we got the debuff, and now our Zavia is ready to absolutely wreak havoc with Deadly Catalyst. And by that point, they're usually so demolished that they really don't have a chance to survive. You can just auto it. So, yep, Zavia, you see the 303,000 on one attack. I have gotten like 460,000 damage from her in one deadly catalyst in the arena. So she is an amazing nuker, especially if you set her up kind of how I did there. All right. I also use her for basically every dungeon. In terms of like speed farming these level 15 potion dungeons and the Minotaur and the Dragon, she is just S tier at speed farming. I'll kind of show you how it works here. So I've got my team set up to where I place poisons, I debuff. My Skull Crown has the Toxin set, so she's gonna not only attack but also place poisons. And if she doesn't, whatever she doesn't kill, my Zavia can come behind and nuke it. So there you see, we're able to get to the boss. I paused for a little bit there, I think. I don't remember. But we can get to the boss very quickly and just speed farm all of these potion dungeons. There you see that ability hits really hard and removes all those poisons. And there we go. And we can see my best time is 28 seconds. Getting under 30 seconds is pretty intense. Normally, this run's going to be like 35 to 40 seconds. There needs to be some RNG things kind of line up to hit that 28. But yeah, nonetheless, very fast. And then I will also show you in the Dragon. The Dragon's probably her most famous dungeon. She's really known for speed farming and being kind of an end game Dragon 20 farmer. We can see Dragon 20 is magic affinity, and it's kind of a speed farm DPS race type dungeon. So Zavia really shines in this dungeon. There we got the poisons, the debuffs, more poisons, and then the deadly catalyst that basically puts an end to the team there. The Dragon also has a little bit of RNG involved and kind of how the abilities line up and how hard they hit and how the waves die. So I expect this run to be anywhere from like a minute 15 to a minute 30. It can get as low as like 58 seconds. I've seen it, I think. We'll look at the best time. But it can also get up to like a minute 45. It just kind of depends how the abilities kind of work. Okay, so there we go. Not too bad. Our Deadly Catalyst should hit pretty hard here coming up from Zavia on her next round. And there it is. And boom. Look, it took the Dragon from like 60% HP to dead. And yeah, we can see the best time is 54 seconds. This run is usually going to be about a minute 5 to a minute 15. But a pretty solid run there. And she is definitely end game for the Dragon. Alrighty, so that's going to kind of do it for this champion guide on Zavia and kind of showing all the different areas that she is useful and all of that. So if you have Zavia, congratulations, you have an S tier legendary on your hands, and I hope this helped you out. So as always, let me know what you think down in the comments, and thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.